Okay people, so now we're on a roll. We're going to learn about variables and constants. So in PHP, a variable starts with a dollar sign and it's followed by the name of the variable. So remember, these names are case sensitive. So an example of a variable declaration you can see right here. Dollar sign my variable. Variables are simply containers for storing your information. Constants are like variables, except that once they are defined, they cannot be changed or undefined. Constants are automatically global and can be used across the entire script. And a bit later down in the course, I'll be explaining the difference between global and local scope of variables. To create a constant, we use the define function, and this function takes 3 parameters. However, the two that are mainly used are the name and value parameters. This defines the name of our variable and its actual value, separated by a comma. So PHP is not a strongly typed language. Therefore, it automatically recognizes whatever variable or whatever value you assign to that variable. So PHP supports the following data types: strings, integers, floats or doubles, booleans, arrays, objects, nulls, and also resources. In PHP, there are also what are called magic constants that are available for us to use. They are line, file, directory, function, class, method, and a few others. But these are the main magic constants that are used. We'll learn about magic constants once we enter into the object-oriented section of this course. Okay, so back in our editor, let us go ahead and create a new file. Let's save it, and we can call it variables and constants. Don't forget your .php extension. Okay, so now we'll open up our PHP tags, and usually if your PHP file only contains PHP code, you don't have to close off your PHP tag. However, for readability purposes, let's close our tag. So let's now define some variables. First, let's define a string variable. Okay, so when you're defining a string, be sure to use your double quotations or single quotations. Alright. So if we want to print these values to the screen, we can use our echo statement and simply type the name of our variable. In PHP, we can join or concatenate our variables or string using the dot operator. So let me put a space between these two numbers, and we can print num1. Let's say num1 and a num2. Okay, so let us save this. And now we can access this inside our web browser. So let's change the name of our file to variables. Let's spell it correctly. Variables constants. Okay. Alright, so we have an error. See here it's printing I'm learning web development with PHP. Now we're getting an error, num2 on line 8. So let's see, line 8. Okay, so this actually had num2 in my head. So this is supposed to be x. Sorry about that. So let's save it, go back to our file, and if we refresh, we can see here that it has web development with PHP, and it's printing our variables 10 and 3.213. And if we want to get this second print statement into a separate line, remember we can embed our HTML anywhere in our PHP code. So we can actually put a break statement right here, save our file, and if we refresh our document, that throws that second echo statement into a different line. Now let's define a constant and print it on our screen. So let's go back to our editor, and remember, in order to define a constant, we need our define function. So here we have our IntelliSense helping us. So let's take a look at this. If we hover over our define function, it tells us that it takes 3 parameters. First one is the name of our variable, our constant. The second argument is its value, and the third, its case, if it's case insensitive. Right, so that's automatically set to false. So usually we use the first two parameters. So let's give our variable a name. So we can simply say let's say course is so easy. Alright, and in order to print this constant to the screen, we simply echo our greeting. And I'm going to put a new line here at the beginning so that we can get this statement on a new line. And also let's give it an h3 header to make it stand out a little bit. So close this off with an h3. Okay, let's save this, go back, let's refresh, and there you have it, our constant. Welcome to this course. Learning PHP is so easy. In our next lesson, we will take a look at arithmetic operators.